Grove, that area, if we had moved to Glendale, where there's a whole bunch of Armenians, we would not thrive like this. We would not thrive, because it blows me away when immigrants come to this country and then they go to Little Italy, Little Armenia, Little Saigon.
So if you met someone who literally they're fresh off the boat here from somewhere, communist country, don't speak the language, you know what's in store for them, and I give you like an hour with them, what are like some key principles that you're going to teach them to endure?
Ooh, great question. Thing number one is, don't go find where the group of your people are. In other words, if my dad had come to Southern California, and instead of living in Santa Ana, Anaheim, Garden Grove, that area, if we had moved to Glendale, where there's a whole bunch of Armenians, we would not thrive like this. We would not thrive, because it blows me away when immigrants come to this country and then they go to Little Italy, Little Armenia, Little Saigon. Get the fuck out of Little Saigon. Go to Little White America, learn the language, assimilate, understand the culture, like blend into the fucking fiber of this country, because when you do, life becomes increasingly easier. It's when they come and handicap themselves and they stay in their own culture. They're in the United States. I mean, there's literally Little Armenia in Glendale. Don't go there. And I might get hate email about that. I love the culture. I'm just not going to go grow up there, because economy is done outside of that culture. It's done in this culture. And so thing number one is, put yourself in a position where you're going to thrive, not where it's going to be comfortable, right? Number two is, most immigrants will come here and they'll think blue collar. How am I going to trade time for dollars? And so job number one, job number two, job number three, get minimum sleep. My argument is, how quickly can you think up a service, a product, a business model that you can deploy in exchange for money, right? How can you leverage yourself? Like, I wish I understood the concept of leveraging and scaling my knowledge. I didn't know that until my late 20s and early 30s. Like, my kids know that now. One's 10, one's 12 years old. Like, I didn't understand leverage and scale. And so I teach them leverage and scale.
That makes a lot of sense. And you talk about this notion of staying in your zone of genius. What is that? What's the concept of 5%, 95%? What's the whole thing?
Yeah. So I believe I'm good at one thing, and I'm good at building fitness businesses, because I'm passionate about fitness. I was a fat kid, fitness changed my life, and so I want to help more people in that area of life. And so every time I try and deviate out of my zone of genius, which is fitness business, or the business of fitness, if I tried to make a funnel, run a Facebook ad, edit videos, I am operating outside of my zone of genius. And so I learned very quickly that there's only about 5% of the things that you do that move the needle. We end up doing a lot of things. Like, most entrepreneurs end up writing the payroll checks and doing their own taxes and setting up their own funnels and ads and campaigns. And why? Well, because it's easy. It's drag and drop. Who cares? That's not your zone of genius. You can hire someone and outsource that. But I realized very quickly that I can outsource 95% of the things. The trivial stuff I can outsource, so that I can focus on the valuable stuff, the 5%, which for me is delegate, motivate, sell. And the more I can delegate out, the more I can motivate my team and my business partners and my clients to buy and use and purchase again, the better I do. So it's delegate, motivate, sell. That's my 5%. And most people need to operate within their zone of genius and just outsource everything else. And when you do, life becomes a lot easier.